I understand how choosing products for your naturally curly hair is such a daunting task, especially with so many different variables to consider, such as your hair's texture, your porosity, and your desired results. Well, I asked you all to submit your hair type to me, and I will help you pick products based on that specific hair type. If you are new to my channel, welcome. My name is Gina, and here I make videos all about naturally curly hair. I love simplifying things, doing step-by-step tutorials, talking about the science of hair, and really helping you problem solve. If you're a returning subscriber, thank you so much for coming back to my channel. So for this video, I'm going to be featuring each combination of hair types. So everyone will be covered for this video. I will have timestamps down below, but I still recommend watching the whole thing because there are some things that you might want to consider, something you might not know about your hair type that I'll be throwing in here or there. So let's first cover off on why I asked for your hair's texture and your hair's porosity. Well, your hair's texture is important because hair products tend to vary based on weight, how much moisture that they have, and just how thick or how thin the formula is. Basically, the finer your hair is, the more it's going to get weighed down with very heavy products, so you want lighter weight products, and the more thick or coarse your strands are, the heavier products that it can withstand. And your hair's porosity is important because that's essentially how damaged or how healthy your hair is and how porous it is. Your porosity tells you how well your hair can absorb and retain moisture. So this is going to help tell you how much protein you should work into your routine, and also if you need some sealing ingredients, like if it's high porosity, whereas low porosity hair really struggles to absorb moisture. It can become dry, and it also can get buildup on it because it's such low porosity. So all of that considered, those are the things that I think are the most important in my opinion. If you're wondering why I didn't mention density or curl pattern, then you can check out a recent video that I did. I will have it linked down below. You can watch it after this if you want more details on that. And in that video, I also share with you how to determine all of these different characteristics and how to pick products. So the first hair type is going to be those with fine hair that is low porosity. So this is on the lowest end of the spectrum that I have. So this particular follower of mine asked for a recommendation for a curl cream. Now throughout this video, I will mention creams and gels and just styling product combinations, or I will just suggest one particular product. A lot of these products that I mentioned can be mixed and matched. The reason I'm only talking about styling products too, by the way, is because those really what matter most when it comes to picking them based on your hair type, where shampoos and conditioners and deep conditioners, it doesn't really matter that much with the exception of a few things, but to keep it simple and quick, we're gonna just focus on styling products because I feel like that's what people struggle the most with, and I don't want this video to be super long. So going back to our fine, low density curly that we have, my recommendation for that is going to be the Curlsmith Weightless Air Dry Cream. So the reason that I think this product is a good option is because it's very lightweight. It's from the scalp recipe from Curlsmith, which is all very lightweight. And it also contains ingredients that are really going to help hydrate the hair. Yes, hydrate, not moisturize. Well, it is moisturizing, but hydrating means actually to draw in water and to give your hair water and also moisture and conditioning as well. And so this contains hyaluronic acid, which is a great humectant. It's similar to glycerin. It's going to help pull in that moisture, and it can hold a lot of water in it. So that's why I think it's great for low porosity hair. Also, it's very lightweight, so it's not going to weigh down a fine hair or low porosity hair. So this hair type can really get weighed down easily because of the fine strands, and also because that tightly bound cuticle with low porosity doesn't absorb products as easily. So even though this is technically a leave-in conditioner, I can still use it as a curl cream. Like I can use just this underneath a gel or a mousse or something like that, and it still works just as fine. So that's why I wanted to recommend it as a curl cream option, but I guess it's technically a leave-in. And just for reference, the main difference between a leave-in and a curl cream is just that a curl cream sometimes contains styling agents that can help improve the appearance of your hair. So that's things like curl definition or clumping or just like curl bounce, those sort of things. Whereas leave-in conditioners typically will only just moisturize your hair. Like that's the main purpose of them. But you can get the curl enhancing and all from your gel, so that's why I still use a leave-in in place of a curl cream a lot of times. You usually won't see me use both because I like to keep it pretty simple. So the next hair type is someone with a fine texture but medium porosity. And they specifically asked for a stronghold gel gel recommendation that isn't going to be super heavy or wet looking. And for that, I would definitely go with the Jessie Curl Spiralicious Styling Gel. So this is a very lightweight gel, which is why I think it would be great with anyone with fine hair because it's not going to weigh down your hair. It's also very strong hold, and it's also very low in moisture. So if you have medium porosity hair, you probably don't find that you need a ton of moisture. You just need like an adequate amount of moisture. It's not quite as dry as high porosity hair. I would still recommend using a leave-in conditioner or a curl cream underneath of this. I can list some down below that I recommend with this one. I've only tried a few though offhand. I need very moisturizing products, so I use a pretty moisturizing curl cream underneath because this one is not super moisturizing, but that makes it great for people with fine hair because it's not gonna weigh your hair down. It's also pretty low in oils as well. It doesn't have a ton of oils. It's not super thick in consistency either, so it's not gonna be hard to apply on fine hair. This also provides great humidity protection and again, really strong hold to it, and it comes in fragrance free, which I really like. The next hair type is fine textured hair that is high porosity. So this person asked for a recommendation for a leave-in conditioner and a stronghold gel that has humidity protection, and they said they're always protein deficient, which is definitely true when it comes to high porosity hair. Protein can also really benefit fine textured hair because it helps hold its structure. You want to avoid protein if you have very coarse hair or just not use too much of it because coarse hair is already very strong in its structure, but fine hair can really benefit from protein. So I'm glad that you do understand that you definitely should work in protein. So my recommendation for a good hold gel is the Twist by Ouidad Weather Up Gel. I wanted to throw in some drugstore options here and there as well. This is very affordable. You can get it on Amazon, but this is their weightless curl defining gel. This is low in moisture. I love how they label it that way, so that way you know. So great for someone with fine textured hair. It's not gonna weigh your hair down or anything. I do find this to be very lightweight. It doesn't contain a ton of oils or anything. It also has a lot of humidity blocking ingredients in it, and it does contain protein ingredients like hydrolyzed wheat protein, which is a pretty strong protein. I would say this is like a medium hold gel, but it's pretty buildable. Like you can build it up to a stronger hold gel, and if you want even more hold, I would recommend adding in a hairspray afterwards. So if you really want like a hard crunch, this isn't going to give you a super hard crunch just by itself without adding something in, but I did want to recommend it because it is super lightweight. Then for the leave-in conditioner recommendation, I've actually never tried this one, but I still wanted to let you know about it, and it has great reviews. This is the Twist leave-in conditioner. I haven't tried this one, as I mentioned, so I'm not sure how well that it works, but again, it has really great reviews. And by looking at the ingredients, it seems to be very lightweight, and I also see protein ingredients in this as well. And it also provides humidity protection, so you're getting humidity protection from both your leave-in and your gel. If you want even stronger hold out of your gels, I would recommend going with something that's more lightweight, like a lightweight leave-in spray. Again, the more moisture that you have in your hair from curl creams, or the more moisturizing your gel is, the less hold that it is sometimes. Now, if you wanted more of a curl cream, then you could try the Twist Weather Up Lotion. I have tried this. I do really like it. I just worry about recommending this too much for someone with very fine hair because it does contain a water-soluble silicone in it. Silicone can build up if you're using this back-to-back every single wash day and if you're not clarifying, but I did still want to recommend it because this is another Twist product that I have tried, and I do usually use this underneath the Twist Weather Up Gel. And if you want some other of my recommendations for leave-in conditioners that are very lightweight and high in protein, that would be the Innocence Sweet Spirit leave-in conditioner, or the Trey Luxe leave-in conditioner. I don't believe that one is super high in protein. I think it just has amino acids, if I remember correctly, but those two are also very lightweight options for leave-in conditioners. So the next category is going to be medium textured hair. So we're gonna first start with medium texture and low porosity. So this hair type can withstand a little bit more of those medium weight products or a little bit more moisture compared to fine hair. And then low porosity, again, it struggles to absorb moisture and you don't want anything to be too heavy. So that's why I would err on the side of more lightweight products for this combination. So my recommendation would be the Love Your Curls Irish Sea Moss Gel. You guys probably haven't seen me talk about this a ton, and that's because it doesn't work great for my specific hair's needs. Like I need pretty strong hold, and this is a very light hold product, or medium hold if you build it up. But the reason I wanted to mention this is because for low porosity hair, you really want to look for film forming humectants. So Irish Sea Moss is a great example of that. Also aloe, that's also in here. Flaxseed is another great one for low porosity hair. So those help your hair pull in moisture because they're humectants, so they moisturize your hair, and they also help seal in moisture, so that moisture is not going to escape. That's why I love them for low porosity hair. Also, low porosity hair doesn't tend to need a ton of hold because you probably don't really struggle with humidity as much because your cuticle is already tightly bound, and hopefully you don't have a ton of frizz, so that's why I thought this would be a good option for you. In terms of creams to use underneath, I think I've only tried this with the Love Your Curls all-in-one styler underneath. That you definitely can't just use by itself. In my opinion, it doesn't give any hold, but it is moisturizing and it's very lightweight, so you could use that underneath of this. But again, it's not enough moisture for my hair. It just wasn't super compatible with my hair type, which is why I don't use it a ton. But I did notice that I had a ton of great curl definition and volume when I use this. My curls just don't hold up very long because I'm more high porosity. Another option that I wanted to throw in for this hair type, and that's actually from the drugstore, is the Kinky Curly Original Curling Custard. You can see I've used quite a bit of this. This product is great for low porosity hair because it's also packed with those film forming humectants, which are going to give your hair like a flexible, shiny hold to it. This product you could totally use by itself, which is also why I wanted to mention it here because it is very moisturizing. Custards typically have more moisture in them, and so if you need products that are lightweight, you could probably just use a one-step styler that's moisturizing and gives you some hold because you don't need as much moisture in there. So this also is glycerin-free, so if you do want a glycerin-free option, but it does have other humectants in it. It has film-forming humectants in it as well, such as aloe. It has agave nectar extract. It has pectin, horsetail, nettle, and marshmallow. So very natural ingredients in this one. I actually do like using this, but I usually reach for it more in the fall and winter time because it's great at keeping that moisture in my hair. Next hair category is right in the middle, and that is medium texture and medium porosity. So this follower is asking for all recommendations on styling products. So for this hair texture, you can pretty much use anything. Like you can go with lighter weight products if you want more volume, or if you don't find that your hair is very dry, you could experiment some with some stronger hold or some heavier weight products if you want more hold and definition. So this hair type can really swing either way, but I thought I would just mention some that are pretty much good for any hair type and can give you good moisture and some good hold. So that's the Bounce Curl combination. I have the Bounce Curl Avocado and Rose Oil Clump and Define Cream. I love how they label moisture on here. It actually says medium moisture, which I would definitely agree with that. It's not super heavy, but it's also not like a lightweight leave-in milk or something like that. It is in a tub formula, which usually, if you see that, it's usually a thicker, heavier weight product, but this one is not. It's great at clumping the curls. I think any texture and porosity could use this. If you had super baby fine hair, maybe not, or maybe just a small little amount of this, but overall this would work with any hair type. And then the Bounce Curl Light Hold Cream Gel. This product contains aloe in it. It's very strong in aloe actually. This gives me a light hold, which is why I don't use it a ton, but I do really love my results when I use it. Like it always has a ton of volume, great definition. I just need a little bit more hold, so I usually have to top it off with a hairspray, and I definitely need a lot of moisture underneath, which is why I like this combination even for my hair type. But I could see it being more beneficial for someone with a medium porosity hair because it is a lighter hold. Like I mentioned, high porosity usually needs a stronger hold option. This does contain quite a bit of protein in it, but it's a great balance with this because this one is protein free and highly moisturizing. So the next category is going to be medium texture and high porosity. So this follower was also asking for a recommendation for a curl cream and a gel. And for that, I would go with the AG Recoil and the Liquid Effects. This is a great combination, especially for those medium texture people and also high porosity hair because this actually contains good humidity blocking ingredients and lots of proteins. So first off, the AG Recoil Cream, this is their curl activator. It's definitely great at that. It really helps to clump the curls. I get amazing curl retention with this. Like my curls really bounce up with this. I really notice a difference when I use this product. A little goes such a long way though, so you only need a tiny amount, especially if you have like medium to fine textured hair. You don't need a lot of this at all, so this would last you forever. This also does contain a protein as well, which is why it's great for high porosity hair. And then the Liquid Effects Extra Firm Styling Lotion. I know it's confusing because it says lotion, but this is actually a gel. It does give a pretty strong hold. I can also get a light to medium hold out of this. It's one of those buildable hold gels where depending on how much you use and how wet or damp your hair is, you can get stronger hold out of this. I've gotten a great cast out of this, and other times I don't get any cast, especially if I use too much of this, but it still has good hold to it, if that makes sense. Again, I think it's excellent for high porosity hair because it's loaded up with proteins and it also has those humidity blocking ingredients. Now we're gonna dive into coarse textured hair. So the first one is Coarse Texture with low porosity. Now this combination can be pretty difficult because you will want to pretty much avoid protein. If you have low porosity hair, you can't really use a ton of protein because it might just sit on the surface, so you might get a protein overload feeling. And also, if your hair is coarse textured, you don't really need a ton of protein. You can work it in every once in a while, but you don't need a ton. And you'll also want to look for those smaller proteins that are similar to protein, such as amino acids, keratin, silk amino acids. Those ingredients are not going to be as strong, or they're not going to build up on the hair. They absorb better, so they don't create that stiff feeling from protein. So my recommendation for this hair type would be the Curlsmith Hold Me Softly Style Balm. This is a great, very moisturizing curl cream. This also is really great at creating clumps and that curl retention. And I do think this is more of like a medium weight, so it's not too heavy, but it's also not their lightest weight cream that they have. Their Featherlight Protein Cream and the Weightless Air Dry Cream is much more lightweight than this, so this is going to provide adequate moisture for those coarse textured people. But with low porosity hair, you don't want to use too much product because you can get build up easily and get weighed down, so I would only use a small amount of this. I also wanted to throw in a gel recommendation with this because I loved my last wash day where I used this combo. This is the Curlsmith Curl Defining Styling Souffle. This is loaded with film forming humectants, which is also why I wanted to throw this in here for low porosity hair. This contains flaxseed, Irish moss, and aloe all in one. So that's going to make it excellent for moisture retention, which is definitely what you need when you have low porosity hair. I usually reach for this more in the fall and the winter time, or I will use a humidity blocking hairspray on top. So love this combination. I actually used it in a recent video of mine if you want to check that out. Got great results, and my hair was moisturized all week long. The other reason why I wanted to throw in this gel is because this is also high in slip, which you also need for coarse textured hair that's very prone to tangles and just feeling brittle. And so it has some of those oils in it as well to help soften, but the high slip is really going to help. And by the way, this is a buildable hold gel. You only need a very small amount or else it will be hard to scrunch out the cast. So just wanted to let you know that. Only use a very small amount per section with this. Next up is people with coarse textured hair but medium porosity. So a good recommendation for a curl cream is the Cantu Avocado Hydrating Curl Activator Cream. I wanted to throw in a drugstore option, but this one also comes to mind for coarse textured hair that's medium porosity. So with coarse textured hair, as I mentioned, you really want creams and gels that contain some oils to help soften the hair. I noticed that whenever I use products that do have some oils like avocado oil, it really helps those coarse areas feel less brittle. By the way, I do have half medium, half coarse hair. I have coarse hair like in the top section here and around the crown, and those sections can feel just very brittle, like it's very rough and bumpy feeling on the strands. So anything that's going to help soften it, be high slip. So this is a great curl cream. I like this one better than the original Cantu curl cream because that one can be too heavy. It's really heavy in coconut oil and shea butter, and those ingredients are just too heavy for most hair textures, but coarse textured hair can usually withstand that. Again, this is probably like a medium to heavyweight product, I would say, but not quite as heavy as the original, if that makes sense. Very moisturizing. Again, this is just great for providing you good moisture. In terms of curl creams that I like over this, I believe I've used this with the Weedad gel that I really like. I'm trying to think of which others. It's been a while since I used this one. I think I used it with the Kinky Curly Custard. I'll be sure to put the combinations below with this. I'll have to look on my blog under this product to see what other combinations that I've used with it. The next combination is coarse textured hair with high porosity. This person is specifically asking for a good stronghold gel. And for that, I recommend no other than one of my favorite gels. This is the Weedad Advanced Climate Control Stronger Hold Gel. I love this gel for high porosity hair because it is packed with humidity blocking ingredients. Like, it has multiple, so you know you're gonna get that humidity protection, and it's also very moisturizing. It's hard to find gels that are strong hold and highly moisturizing. Those are typically what I look for though, because I do have some coarse areas in my hair, and so I can't use something that's too drying. Like, I still need moisture. Every time I use products that are low in moisture, my hair has a lot of dry frizz to it, especially by day 2. So this keeps my curls moisturized for days. It also does contain quite a bit of protein ingredients in here, but I've never had a brittle feeling from the protein in this on my coarse areas. I think because it's mixed with so many moisturizing ingredients to help soften the hair. So I don't think it would be a problem, but if you are worried about that with coarse textured hair, then maybe go with a different option. Like the Jessie Curl Gel that I mentioned, that one is protein free, but for high porosity hair, you do need some protein, but yet with coarse textured hair, you don't want to use too much. So this would be the only protein product that I would recommend in your routine. I would pair it with a protein-free curl cream. So a good option to pair with it would be the Bounce Curl Cream because it's very moisturizing and it's protein-free. So you don't want too much protein, but you need some when it comes to this combination because of that high porosity. So what do you do if you have multiple porosities and multiple textures? So I definitely know all about this because, as I mentioned, I have half medium and half coarse. I usually address like the majority of my hair, but I also will address the most problematic, if that makes sense. So say if you are somebody that has fine and medium textured hair in your strands, that's very possible. We all have a mix of different textures sometimes. I would err on the more lightweight side because even if you have medium textured hair, you might still want great volume. So I would then go with lightweight. And for me, I usually go with like medium weights. Like I can't use something too heavy, like a thick, rich shea butter product, because then my hair would get weighed down because it's also low density. And another thing to consider is the amount of product that you use. That more so comes into play with your density. So the more hair that you have, the more product that you will use. But that's something else you can also adjust. So like for me, I could use a very moisturizing curl cream, but just not use too much of it. So that way my hair doesn't get weighed down, but yet it's still benefiting those coarse textured areas, or just apply more in those areas, if that makes sense. So overall, how to deal with multiple textures and porosity, just address the most problematic one. And it's also very normal to have multiple porosities. Usually your hair will come out more of like a medium porosity and it increases as you get down towards the ends because that's the oldest part of your hair that's taken the most damage. So your ends need more moisture, probably more slip, more hold, all of that. So if you want to be able to shop for products based on your specific hair needs, then you'll definitely have to check out the shop page on my blog. This is a new addition to my blog. So many of you have said that you've been using it and playing around with it. The filters that I find super helpful are the weight. So you can look for products that are a lightweight liquidy gel or a medium weight liquidy gel or a heavy cream. Like those are the types of filters that I have. I also have them in there for the hold level. That one is based on my experience with the products. Everyone, depending on how you apply it, can get different hold levels. So just keep that in mind. But I still wanted to include it because I know a lot of you are looking for like strong hold gels that have humidity blocking ingredients. So for humidity, you would look at the polyquat filters that I have. So there's some for contains polyquats or polyquat free, if that's something you're looking for. So lots of different filters on there. I will have the link down below for that shop if you do want to browse it. If there's any other filters you think that I need, definitely let me know. One of the ones I thought about incorporating was film forming humectants. That's not one I currently have on there, but I do have on there filters for glycerin and lots more. So let me know if you can think of any others that I should add in, and I will definitely do that. All the products that I mentioned and ones that I would pair with this, I will have those linked in the description box down below. So just expand that bar below the video title and you will see them. And if you're still needing more help with determining your hair's porosity and your texture and even picking products based on your needs, like whether if you want more volume or less volume, then check out the video that I will have linked right here on the screen. It's a very in-depth 101 style video that will walk you through exactly how to pick products and how to determine your different hair characteristics. So I will talk to you over there. Bye everyone.